Hi everyone, welcome to Sports Kabri with me, Aradi and Rishi. And boys, I think there aren't a lot of better feelings than saving a test match. It's such a weird thing, but of course, the feeling of winning a test match from behind is just incredible. But coming from behind to save a test match in the fashion that India did, with 10 and 11 batting together, is just amazing. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys will be able to put it into words. I'm not able to at this point. But the feeling of waking up, for me at least, waking up on a morning to see your team nine down and having just crossed the follow-on mark is special. I think a lot of people had put India out of the game after they were four down on at the end of the third day. But it was a gritty performance from KL Rahul, from Ravindra Jadeja, and of course you have to mention Akashdeep and Jasprit Bumrah towards the end. So it's a special day, I think, in Indian cricket. I think again, you don't get to see many performances like this. You sort of go back to Sydney, the last time India came to Australia, where Ashwin fought it out with Vihari, and Pujara, of course, took a bunch of blows that day as well. But it it reminds you sort of that kind of a performance, right? Yeah, I just think incredible. Don't know where to start, but yeah, Rishi, bro, I'll tell you, like, from my side, like, what it looked like. Okay, I was up last night watching KL Rahul batting with Jadeja. I think Rahul gets very lucky, plays a very um bad shot first day of the first ball of the day. Steven Smith drops a sitter, and then he doesn't make a mistake. And complimenting him was Jadeja, who did not make a single mistake, at least in the time that I saw him bat. I thought he was amazing. He left Mitchell Stark very well. He left Pat Cummins very well. He left Nathan Lyon very well. Anything outside of the off stump. And dude, I was really impressed by the way Jadeja and Rahul went about things in the first session yesterday. They really sort of got Cummins back in for a second spell, got Stark in for a second spell without giving them anything. And of course, Rahul got out at the end of it, which was again a brilliant take from Steven Smith. But all in all, it really set up a great chance for India to avoid following on and batting again. From there, what did it look like when Nitish Kumar Reddy came into bat? What were you looking forward to? Did you feel like India really had a chance to avoid follow?
I mean, if we like at least what I felt is that if we had to pull off a rabbit out of the hat, it had to be like Nitish Kumar Reddy and Jadeja. Like when KL Rahul fell, I thought, okay, this is the start of another parade where in another session, either Australia come out, bat, probably get in 50 quick runs, or they straight put us under the pump because by then they were also lacking bowlers like Mitchell Marsh. Their fourth seamer was not able to bowl, and Josh Hazelwood is again probably is going to be out of the series. So maybe if they wanted to give their bowlers a rest, it looked like they might just send in either Travis Head or one of the or Mitchell Marsh to come in and swing a few. But again, it did look doom and gloom to be fair. But I felt, yeah, like Jadeja and KL Rao, like, bro, like their resilience that they showed, like the discipline,
Yeah.
like this is the kind of discipline, like, okay, KL Rao, you pretty much, like, at this point, as a top order batsman, as an established batsman, you kind of expect this. But Jadeja, the kind of discipline that he showed, I think should be what our top order batsmen should be showing. Should, like, the likes of Jaiswal, the likes of Gill, the likes of Kohli, the likes of Rohit, like you don't get caught into traps. You don't get drawn into your drives. Like you be disciplined. Like whatever is out of your zone, whatever seems like an iffy ball, just leave it. Just respect it. And the good balls you put away, and that's exactly what Jadeja did. Like anything that was overpitched, I think he hit line for a six and then a four back to
Yeah,
back. They were
a couple of beautiful sweeps, but like
yeah, like they were pretty bad balls, and then Lion followed it up by good balls, which he respected. Like ultimately, it is that cat and mouse game, like where you respect when you have to, and the other time you take advantage of the bad balls. It is that simple, and I feel that is the part that is a point where our top order batsmen are continuously failing to address, and I feel that is like we pretty much Jadeja and KL Rahul set out a blueprint. Like this is all you need to do, and like I feel we walked away with a huge thing because if we were put under the pump, if we lost this game, I think going into the next two games, our morale would be down. Like from every point, from every aspect, we'd be like shooting questions at the team, and it would be chaos. But now that we've walked away with a draw, like this is pretty much a draw. Like unless something miraculous happens tomorrow, like this is pretty much a draw. And if you had asked me after the whitewash that we faced against New Zealand, like after the Adelaide test, after the third test, would I take a 1 hour and go into Sydney and Melbourne? Like I'd definitely take it.
100%. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Like from that perspective, is this like it is something positive for us.
We were talking about 11th wicket, sorry, 10th wicket partnerships a couple of weeks ago, and we were like, yeah, it's what are the odds, bro? But I cannot, for the life of it, talk about how happy I was to see Akashdeep and Jasprit Bumrah. There's something magical about watching the last two batters fight it out, grind it out, and save a game for you. Like you don't see it a lot. Like at least my memory in the recent past, I haven't seen India's 10 and 11 really bat that long and like save it. I have to go back to Srishant, bro. Again, like really long ago when he helped India save a test match somehow. I don't remember like a lot of these occasions, and it was amazing to see these two. I don't think, by the way, I don't think Akashdeep is a number 10. How he is coming to bat after Siraj, I don't know. But yeah, I always thought he was capable of doing a job with the bat. And again, dude, like you saw the emotion that it brought out in the dressing room as well, right? It was Virat Kohli who was jumping everywhere. Gautam Gambhir, who you always sort of pin as this serious character, was sitting and he was having a couple of laughs as well. We will discuss, of course, the issues that India had, but I think first and foremost, really, really, like I think credit to Akashdeep, to Jasprit Bumrah. We'll talk about the about Jadeja, Rahul, and Nitish Kumar Reddy a little more. But Adi, you were only saying I think that number tens, if they actually just hang in there, they can bat and they can get it done. They got it done. What do you think of it?
No, that's what I was talking about. I mean, what I was trying to say is that every batsman there needs to have some intent while playing. I think only today we can talk about them playing well is because of the whole factor of being, avoiding a follow on. That tag was there, we have to score at least 160 runs today, etc. And that's the reason you could see them be more disciplined because there was something to play for. I think without that, I think it would have still been the same old careless character. And that's what I'm coming back to. Like, these players have it in them, but it's just the mentality and mindset issue. Because you look back to the second test, it was very loosely played every shot because there was no real intent or no real target to chase, etc. And I feel like that's what I was trying to say. If today the number nine, I mean 10 and 11 knew that okay, we have to score for 30 odd runs, to not have a follow on, etc. Which was I still don't think that's that important because only 1 day is left. I still think India would have managed it anyways. But regardless, like for them, it seemed like they wanted to get past the follow on score, and the way they batted was towards that. Okay, now we have a follow on target. Let's survive until like these 200 runs, and after that, whatever it is a bonus. And that's why you could see even players like Jadeja who struggled batting over the past 3, 4, 5 test games was also a bit more disciplined today. KL is the only guy I've always said he has that discipline in test cricket. He knows when to leave. He has the patience to play. But even the lower order, apart from the obvious Siraj, like you could see they were under pressure to score runs, under pressure to do something for the team. And I think that's the reason it really worked out for them. But I don't think it is, again, this is the kind of mentality I would expect every player to play with when especially when they're batting in a test match.
No, I agree. And you discussed the last two, and just to see Akashdeep smash Cummins for one before the test play close was again amazing to watch. But just on Nitish Kumar Reddy, dude, my respect for this guy is just in like it's going up and up and up, and there's only one trajectory. It seems 16 of 61. Very, I thought got out in a little bit of an unlucky manner. Of course, he's just tried to jab at one and it's come and hit his thumbs. He's played on, but he looked good again. Like what is it about this kid, dude? Like, what is it? Nobody really expected anything from him. Coming into this tour, nobody thought, you know what, like he can do a job with the ball. Nobody thought he could do a job with the bat. We hadn't seen enough of his abilities in Test cricket. In this match alone, comes in. I remember in the first innings, gets Labuschagne when there was a partnership building, and with the bat, he just seems different. Like he seems like he's he's amongst India's best batters on this tour. And again, it's 16 of 61 batted time, which was required, just like Rahul did, just like Jadeja did. Um, is there a conversation that has to be had to push Nitish Kumar Reddy higher up the order? We've had 3 games. It's not 1 game, 2 games. It's 3 games where he's shown maturity. He's shown that he can play shots. He's shown he has the full package. Especially when you have guys like Rohit Sharma really struggling, Virat Kohli, and I don't even want to get into that conversation. But yeah, like, what do you guys think about promoting Nitish Kumar Reddy? Do you think he's wasted at number 8, basically?
I mean, from my side, again, I think it's too early to talk about players like Nitish Reddy. It is too early to talk because, again, a test career comes from its own merits. You have to play there for a very long time. I think the situation is helping him to get his best form to an extent. But from what I've seen, I wouldn't sit and say, okay, there is a great long test player in there. To be fair, in my opinion, I still think it's too early to pass on a lot of judgments, and I don't really like putting pressure on a lot of young players this early, especially when you're going to fill in shoes of big player names like Rohit Sharma, Virat. I don't want to sit and say, okay, this guy needs to be the next number 3, number 4. Like, I don't want to tag that way because, again, it's too early. Like, you go back 3 months ago, we would have said Jaiswal is the best batsman in the world, and 3 months later, we can have a conversation right now. Okay, does Jaiswal need some form of change? So I think it's really unfair to really talk too much about Nitish Kumar Reddy, etc., where his playing position is. I think the playing position he's at right now is okay to the extent of it's worked out well for India to whatever extent they want. I really don't. I, I can't say that he's the best batsman out there, right now to be like, yeah, this guy needs to be the next number 3, number 4, number 5, because
Mm.
there are players who also deserve a chance, like the name of Dhruv Jurel in the team. So I wouldn't sit and say, okay, this guy is sure shot, next number 4, number 5. But yeah, I think there is long phases to see what we can get out of him. I think
Mm.
it's just much too early to like talk
No, I
about it.
agree. I think the sample size is small. I feel like the only reason I am really impressed by Nitish is, bro, his character, his demeanor seems like a very head down, like I will do my work. Doesn't he doesn't seem like, I don't know. I wouldn't put categorize him with, like the more flamboyant cricketers. He just seems like a head down. He knows what he's doing. He's there for the hard work. He's there for the grind, and he will do what it takes for the team. And he seems like a proper team guy. Um, that's what's impressed me most. It's not even his ability. Like, honestly, for me, like, what has impressed me most about Nitish is his personality, his character, which I think Test cricket really shows you. Like, on one hand, you have guys like Shubman Gill almost being kind of lethargic and feeling for everything, not being disciplined enough. At the other hand, you have this guy who's new, never played in Australia, but is showing everything that you need to show in tough moments, right? Um, that's what's
I mean,
impressed me
that's my
most about
point, bro.
Nitish.
I feel like 3 years ago we could have said the same thing about Gill, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's just too early to talk about
No,
anyone.
the thing is, like, with Gill, like, I feel like Gill has been more of a, people have loved him for his abilities, like cricketing abilities purely. But Nitish comes off as a character, really strong character, who, of course, like ability, I feel like we haven't seen it. Like you said, it's just been 3 games, but he comes off like a guy who has good character, strong personality, and I think for a long career in Test cricket, you need that.
Bro, the thing is, long before like Gill properly established himself as a Test cricketer, long before he showed consistency, like the whole media, the whole cricketing world, or at
That's
least
what
the
I
Indian cricketing world, labeled him the prince. Like
mean.
we've already given him the hype. We've already set standards. We've already put him in a pedestal. So like that, I feel again he's one of those players like who is going to be a little bit more flamboyant, who is going to be a little bit more on his day. He's going to look a little bit like that majestic player, but then again at times there are going to be times where he is going to be kind of a luxury, kind of a passenger. But on the contrary, like from like what we have seen of Nitish Kumar Reddy, he is one of those who can play according to the team's needs, and we need players like that. We need someone when we are fight down, when we need someone to like hold the ground. We need players like Nitish at this, like who can do the job. Like you put Gill in the same situation, I don't think he'd be as malleable as Nitish Kumar Reddy. I'm not saying that Gill cannot do it. I'm saying Nitish Kumar is someone who will find it much more easier, much more comfortable to be able to cater to what the team needs. And we definitely need players like that, because we've just lost two huge players in that who were exactly what we like. They could take up any role that the team wanted. And when we have lost such players, we need their replacements. We need players who can adapt. Like we saw in the first test where we needed to go through the gears. Nitish Kumar, he had no problem in going through the gears. He had no problem stepping up. And when we needed someone to hold the fort, he did buy us time. So again, like when it comes to tests, we need such players who can who can show that, or who can do the different, who can come into different situations and handle it well.
Dude, honestly, like I don't think I have been this impressed by anybody for a really long time. Like a new cricketer on the blocks, Indian cricketer, since I've honestly, like at least in the modern era, I haven't been. Probably Rajat Patidar comes close, like in just in terms of like his again. Feel like with him, it's more like it's like oh, he's a beautiful, like pleasing on the eye to watch kind of guy. But this guy, bro, I don't know. I feel like I'm falling in love with him, and I feel like there's a reason for it, and it's just the way he's carrying himself. Honestly, that more than anything else. Um, but yeah, moving on to the other one, like I mean, the other two, I feel like we need to discuss. The first one is KL Rahul. Like, he really has gone through the toil. He's been he's always the first in the firing line. Dinesh Karthik spoke about it. Why he was asked why Rahul is succeeding on this tour, and he said he was prepared for it. After he got dropped in the series against New Zealand, apparently he was work early in the mornings with Abhishek Nair. They created almost like a marble kind of surface where he would bowl short. He would sort of replicate the bounce that you get in Australia. Um, the surface that you get in Australia, and Rahul would bat hours to be prepared for this tour because he knew you would. I mean, you don't get the luxury of time anymore. You don't get the number of warmer games you used to many years ago. And then he came and played the India A game. So I think he's, in terms of being prepared, he's done a lot of things right. So you have to give him credit for his hard work. And on the flip side, like I feel like somebody like a Rohit Sharma, I know he's the captain of the team, but he hasn't played cricket on like on in the lead up to this. Missed the first test, and you can't just directly jump in and I think say, yeah, I'm just going to come here and score runs. It doesn't work like that. It's as sad as it is. You need to be prepared, and you can almost tell that Rohit Sharma never looked comfortable yesterday. From the get go, he didn't look like he was. It looked like there were two different batters batting. One was really in a zone, and the other one just seemed like he was clueless. Like it looked like he was out of place. Um, but yeah, I think again, like you said, you spoke about KL, but again, the other one is Ravindra Jadeja. I think, bro, again to watch the way Jadeja played yesterday was really nice to see. To see somebody take his time, leave the ball outside off, and then score runs. So we've done a lot of things right, but there are a lot of things that went wrong before that, especially the top order. We've discussed Gill, who really looks like he's struggling now. Since his previous match in Gabba, which was the last tour to Australia, he's had a terrible run of form, especially away from home. So where do we stand with the top order? Where do we stand with Shubman Gill? I'm not going to talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal. I thought it was an unlucky dismissal. I know he went hard at it, but whatever. Um, you guys can tell me if you think otherwise. But there must be a conversation we need to have about Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, and Rohit Sharma. Where do we stand now on these guys?
Bro, I mean, first of all, Adi, I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to say even Jaiswal's included. Like, I think they're all equal culprits. I don't think we can just take out Jaiswal. He's had only one good century. Apart from that, he's also been equally worse compared to all your batsmen. And it's not just the series. Even going back to the New Zealand series, there were games where he struggled also. And it's more about struggling in terms of giving away his wicket with ease. And I think all of these guys, it's not a skill issue. It's just the mentality issue. It again comes down back to, do you want to play and grind out Test cricket? You look at players like Nitish Reddy, Jadeja, they're not as talented as Virat Kohli, Gill, even Jaiswal, even Rohit Sharma, to the fact. Like, even today, you put Jadeja and Rohit Sharma next to each other, you would still have a 38-year-old Rohit Sharma batting for your team if you had the choice to bat. None of them have a skill issue. No one's really deteriorating in Test cricket. I don't think these guys are off form, because you just go 6 months back. Virat Kohli was having an amazing IPL. He played a very important round for India in the World Cup final, the T20 World Cup final. And go 12 months ago against England, they were all performing well, right from Gill, KL, Jaiswal. Rohit Sharma also scored a couple of centuries against England. I really don't think this is a matter of losing your cricketing skill. It's just a matter of losing the motivation, the discipline to play Test cricket. That's it. Like the way Kohli got out, the way even Rohit Sharma got out, I don't think those wickets are really wickets when you look at it. It's just that you don't have the patience to play that ball. You can leave that ball. There is no need well, as Rishi said, if they're very iffy, if you don't have the right timing and confidence, you don't have to go and try to search for the ball. Like Virat Kohli played it way too late, that shot. He didn't have to play. It was a very lazy shot. And you get out when, if you're not fully committed in Test cricket, and especially in a shot, you know that it's going to swing. The ball's coming at a different pace, weight, and you might always edge it. And we all know this, and those guys also know it, but they just like to go hard on, or like try to score runs. I don't know what it is. I think it's a bit of mentality, a bit of confidence. And even with Jaiswal, I don't think that was a very soft dismissal. You shouldn't like be playing those shots when you can keep it on the ground and play. You saw how he tried to aggressively swing the bat. It was the second ball of the game. It's not really needed, and I think it's everyone. I think it's just a mentality issue. It's not at all a skill issue.
Yep, yep. It's scary. I think, especially with Virat. What was that, six down easily?
No, I feel it's a little bit unfair, but why? Like I kind of agree with Adi, but not entirely. I feel you should include Yashasvi Jaiswal, because why not? He has been playing tests for a while. Although this is his first tour to Australia, you can't like criticize him to the same degree as these other three established batsmen. This is his first Australia tour, so he hasn't known what Australian pitches are like compared to these three. But at the
Bro, I'm
same time,
sorry, but it's not about pitches. It's about the mentality to play
No,
the
it was a
shots.
bad
correct.
shot. Like
That's
I
I
think
agree. I agree. Like even the ball before that, it was a pretty bad shot that he
yeah,
got away with. Like with that kind of a backlift, he had to bring the bat down quicker. He had to look to kill those both the balls. Like instead of like playing flashy shots. Like if he didn't deserve to get out in the first ball, second ball he deserved to get out in the first ball. I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe we have to criticize him, of course, because at the end of the day, you expect a little bit more from him. But can he be criticized as badly as the other three? Not quite not to the same degree, at least, because the other three, dude, I don't know where to go from here. Like at least Gill, there is time. Like he is still youngish. Like he has a lot of time left. Although he's pretty established in this team, he has a lot of time left. Like what about the other two, dude? The kind of numbers that these guys are putting up, like my god, man,
yeah,
like
it's
like
it's
and
shocking.
the thing is, it's not even two of the same things. Like Rohit Sharma, he has been. I like
Ro-
at this point, I have no expectation from Rohit Sharma. Like
Bro,
if he scores
exactly. It's like a walking wicket, bro. He's
like exactly like he scores 10 runs, I'm like, okay, that's 10 more runs for India than I expected. Like it's come to this point.
Dude, he was there was a stat yesterday before his previous innings that in the last 13 test innings, Rohit Sharma averaged some 11 or 12. Like
11.6 in
it's
his, he scored
shocking.
152. He
That's
scored
shocking
150.
numbers. And
Okay. And
150 runs for him and 190 for Virat. It's not good enough. Like it's not even close to good enough.
bro, that's the difference. Like, I think with these two players, I don't know how else to put it. For Rohit Sharma, at least, the cricket has left him entirely. And I feel for Virat Kohli, it's more like the format has left him. The cricket is there in Virat Kohli. Like, he
Yeah.
still at times in different formats, you've seen, like Adi said, in the T20 World Cup, he knew what kind of shots he had to play. He knew how to get the job done. But I just feel in Test cricket, when you have to modify your game at this stage of his career, I don't know whether he wants to. But the thing is, he has been getting out the same way for 4 years now. Like, it's not even the same case. Like, for Rohit Sharma, I have no hope. Like, he scores 10 runs, okay, that's 10 more runs. And the thing is, Virat Kohli, I expect him to do better. Like, there is a batsman in him. Like, when he comes, like, there is an expectation that, okay, this time out, if he's going to control his shots, there is a score left for him. He can do the job. But then again, he falls for the same old trap. Like, if he's not
Yeah.
regardless of the seniority, if you're not able to, or if you're rather with someone of his caliber, with the changes that he's undergone in the past, I'm sure if he wants, he can bring about the change. He can bring about the patience and leave the balls outside off. But if he wants to go for that aesthetic cover drives for the photos, like, dude, like, at what point do you start playing for the team? He has done it in the past, but then again, now you have to realize that if you are getting out in the same way 9 out of 10 times, there is a pattern, there is a problem which you have to address. If you're
No,
not
that's
failing,
true.
if you are failing to address, it is pretty bad. Because again, I feel a lot of the criticism for Virat went away with the century that he scored, like in the first test. And I feel one thing that went under the radar is that is the first time he came after, say, probably 60, 70, 80 overs.
Yeah,
The rest of the
270
time,
odd for two. Yeah,
yeah,
India.
like, before that, he's played in, I think, 10th over. He came in the third over. He came in everything less than 10 overs. That's when you really have to showcase your talent, showcase your skills. And I feel he's pretty much failed at all those stages. And
Yeah,
like, not just that, like, both of them. Like, in fact, Rohit Sharma even more critical than Virat Kohli. Like, because if Virat can adjust his this glaring issue, there is a batsman there. But Rohit Sharma, that's the thing. Like, I don't see any kind of, like, I don't know what he has to do that he can, like, get about and get a change, get an upturn in his form. Because this is not just a form issue. Like, even the commentators were like blatantly calling him out. Like, dude, your feet are planted. Like, how are you trying to play in Australia? Like, you're trying to drive. Virat Kohli at least moves his feet. Rohit
yeah.
Sharma is standing and he's trying to stretch and play the sixth
Bro,
stump ball.
Rohit Sharma, I am
Hmm.
not even kidding. The second Rohit Sharma comes to bat, I'm like, bro, I'm so happy he got caught behind yesterday because I'm just like, bro, the way Rohit Sharma set up, I'm like, dude, you are going to get LBW a bolt for sure. Like, it's going to happen. There's going to be one that just nips back in. Your feet aren't moving. You're not getting your foot out enough. You're going to be hit in line no matter what. He's always going to be hit in line. Like, nothing will change that for Rohit Sharma. And it almost seems like he will get LBW or bolt every single time he comes to bat. And there's a like you're right in the sense that, bro, pressure moment, you're looking at Rohit Sharma, you're looking at Virat Kohli. These are the guys that need to stand up. It's a tough situation. You're hoping that these are the players who really do it for the team. And
No,
I think
honestly, I don't have any hope with Rohit Sharma. I have hopes in Virat.
no, I
Like,
agree. I agree. You're right. Like that's what, like when Rohit comes back, honestly, to me, I'm just waiting for when is that ball going to come, which just comes in and he's going to get hit on the body. He's going to hit on the pads or it'll just hit the stumps. I swear and I think this is one of the reasons where I feel like the generation that has passed, which is Rahul Dravid, uh, Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman, Saurav Ganguly, will go down as better test players than Virat Kohli, than Rohit Sharma. I mean, Rohit Sharma, I won't even put in that bracket, but like Virat Kohli's and like even Rahane, I'd say to an extent. I don't want to take like the name Pujara because I think he's one of those players who probably falls in that bracket, is because tough situations, tough games, they pulled you out. They played sort of those long knocks. You think about Sachin's double hundred at Sydney, where he did not play a single cover drive after a really poor run. Amazing. You think about Dravid and Lakshman against Australia, following on a gritty performance throughout the day. you don't. I don't remember a Virat Kohli knock like that. Like that's the scary part. I feel like today KL Rahul's
Sorry, are you saying you don't remember Virat Kohli saving India in Test cricket? Like, are you saying he's
no, I
never
don't
done that in his
remember. I don't remember a knock
time?
to the extent of
Bro,
what.
there is literally so many knocks,
Okay, tell
especially
me
the
one.
way
Tell me one.
so
Tell me one
tell me
Test
the way he
series.
started his
Adi,
Test cricket
post COVID, how many
Adi,
test
in a winning
wins?
cause,
Post COVID. I
or
agree.
to
I'm
save
talking
India
about
from a tough
we were
spot.
talking about Virat Kohli never scored a good century
I
ever where
never
he
said
saved
I,
India.
I never said Virat Kohli didn't score a good century. I said from a tough situation to pull the team out like when it's needed most. You're looking at
Rahul,
players like Virat Kohli. I'm
in,
not
in
saying Virat
Rahul,
Kohli is not a
in games, in
yeah.
games
Tell
like
me one.
since 2014 in the Australia tour where everyone were going down like
Adi, did
feathers,
we win a
he was the
single
one
game that
scoring
tour?
runs.
Did we win a
Huh?
single match that tour?
I, that is my point. That is
We
because
didn't.
the entire team were not able to score runs. He scored consecutive centuries,
Bro,
Rahul,
my
that day.
point is, Adi, when you're in a spot of bother and you need somebody to save the game or you need somebody to win, we didn't even draw a single game in that series. That's my
Rahul,
point.
but you realize if
My
Australia is able to score 400, 500 runs and there's only one player scoring 100 runs, no matter what you do, you're not going to win the
No,
game.
I agree, but I'm saying there will be cup. It doesn't happen every day. I agree. I'm not saying Virat Kohli is not a good test player. I think he's a great test player, but I'm saying he'll never be in the league as these guys because they did it almost single-handedly in extremely difficult situations. Sachin 270, like that's not small score. VVS Lakshman 280 in Calcutta. It's not a small score. These guys are a league ahead. No matter what you say, like Virat Kohli, when I'm looking at Virat Kohli when India in Bangalore against New Zealand, I'm looking at Virat Kohli for a special innings. Today, I'm looking at Virat Kohli for a special knock. It's these kind of situations when you go back to India Australia last time that we came in Sydney. I'm looking at a special innings from Virat. Those are the situations. I know he didn't play
Bro, I
that
feel
game.
like it's too, for me, it's like it's unfair to just compare two
I'm not
eras
putting
of.
everything. I'm saying
It,
all I'm saying is I think Virat Kohli is a great test player. I'm not questioning that at all. I just don't think he's in the league of the best test players to play for India because of what those guys were able to do in tough situations, like
bro,
really
Rahul,
tough situations.
Virat
So, like
has.
Adi, see, nobody's like
Nobody's
questioning the
questioning his
ability of
Just
quality.
Virat.
for context, Virat is in India's fourth highest test scorer. Just out
That
for
is not the
context.
point. That is not even the point. VVS Lakshman won't be on that list. But when you think about
Oh,
India's
VVS
best test
Lakshman is
knock,
behind Virat, by the way.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He's not ahead of Virat. But when you think about the
Adi,
most special
comfortably,
test
Cheteshwar
knock,
Pujara is also going to be much lower. But the
exactly.
fact that in test, when you need someone to stick
Pujara is
around,
top 10, Rahul and
Yeah,
Rishi. Pujara is top
yeah,
10.
exactly, Adi. But
agreed. I said
when
he's going to be much lower than Virat. But
Virat,
the
exactly. But
fact
would you
that he
not say
can
Pujara is
grind
a
out.
better player?
That
Would you
is
not
because
say?
Pujara has played lesser games. But my point is, bro, you guys are just putting the context of grinding cricket out versus winners. Like, I'm sorry to say, in that era, it was a totally different kind of cricket versus like your current format of Test cricket in terms of the rhythm of playing Test cricket. That time you used to get to play more Test cricket. Right now, at least the Indian team barely played Test cricket overall. I think that time Test cricket.
I'm sorry, bro. It's not just that.
Dude, it is.
The-
Are you
It's
saying
not
if
just that. There's no
I
way.
if you, bro,
I'm
players
just
like
giving you
VVS
con.
Lakshman are
Okay.
conditioned to play Test cricket better.
That's
Like obviously they are
that
best.
is
No,
absolute. I
no.
think
What do
that's
you mean by
absolute
conditioned?
nonsense. There
This
is
is like
no
saying, okay, somebody was born with a natural talent, so you don't have to try. Like, dude, like
Bro,
it's
Rishi,
about
don't
mindset.
you can't you like? Are you guys not like are you guys saying that you can't differentiate between a T20 player and a Test player? Like, are you saying every cricketer is the same kind of
that's
format
Adi.
cricketer?
Adi. It's
Like,
simple.
is Pushara a white
It's
ball
a
cricket
simple
player? He
thing.
doesn't play. He only
Exactly what
goes
we're
red ball,
saying.
right?
Like Virat is a great test player, but he's just not as great as the others. That is
That
exactly
is
what
not.
we're saying.
In
Maybe
context
he's
of what?
a
Just
shorter
grinding
format
out
player.
cricket
No. It's
games?
not
Like
in the context
that
of just
doesn't make
grinding
sense.
out.
Like that's all.
It's not about grinding out.
Adi, so
It's
like
about
like what I want to like I just wanted to add one thing. I'm not saying it is all about grinding out results. I'm saying when the situation needs what the team needs you to do, how many times can you openly depend, or rather,
Bro,
like how
Rishi, my
like
point is when Virat Kohli is the team, what else do you want? Dude, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, at
Adi,
the point of time, Virat
was he
Kohli
the
was the
lead?
Indian team. Like,
Was he the
there was no
lead
other
cricket?
batsman who consistently
Correct.
played cricket for India. So my
So
point is,
that
what
that ended
condition are you talking about?
2019.
The
So
condition
we'll
itself
have
is where,
Test cricket post 2019, post 2020. We've
oh,
had
I
Test
am going
cricket.
to say,
What happened?
bro, wait. But my point is, post 2020, I am the first person to sit and say Virat Kohli hasn't been playing well. But
So
I'm talking
like
about, but I'm
yeah,
talking about
like
the
so
overall career. You can't,
my
I
concern,
can't ignore the
my
fact that what
concern
he's
is
done.
that like Virat is like 37 now. So 2020 he'd probably be 33. So from 33, he's been extremely stubborn in the sense that okay, there is an issue, there is a glaring issue that I'm not going to address. That I'm going to play my way. I'm going to go out of my way and go and nudge fifth stump, sixth stump balls in like for the poster boy, for the pics, for the clicks, for the beautiful cover
No,
drives in
you're
the
just
sense.
putting in Rishi, you're just characterizing him as a poster boy,
No,
this, that, because that's
no,
in your
I'm
head.
saying
But
no,
he's not that kind of player. He still wants to just play cricket, my
so
friend.
you're telling me there is a glaring issue. Like you know it, I know it. Clearly the bowlers know it. The replacement bowler for Australia, Scott Boland, came in and he got him out exactly like that. So you're telling me there is no issue that needs to be
Oh,
addressed.
bro, but do you realize again, it comes down to fine margins. Like the same stroke, Virat Kohli can score thousands of runs on the same cover drive. You do
He
get
could.
out on the same cover drive also. You can't, you can't just take out the fact that he has one of the most beautiful cover drives right now to watch, and the fact that he can score a lot of runs on the offside. For a
Okay,
fact,
okay,
he's
fine.
not been
Where
able to
are
do it
they?
right now.
I'm just
Where
giving you
are
But I'm
they?
context.
sorry to just say,
I'm just
oh,
giving you.
like he's
I'm giving you
looking for the
context.
drives, he's playing for himself. I'm sorry, but I don't think
No, no,
that's
I
the
don't think
fact.
it's not about playing for yourself. The point is everyone can play a good cover drive, especially in that top order, Indian top order. KL Rahul's got a beautiful cover drive. You've got that's
Shubman
exactly
Gill's
what I'm saying.
cover drive looks very flamboyant.
I'm just saying
Yeah, so
comparing.
why are you getting that part into this? Like, that's my whole point.
No,
You
no,
don't have to talk
this is
about
exactly
Virat and to be
this
a
is
poster boy and all. It doesn't make sense at all. That is very,
no, no.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
from the
okay.
out
fact
of
that
It's
topic,
not
bro.
okay.
Like, I'm sorry to say.
it is simply
Okay.
stemming from the fact that okay, the dude, like if you stop doing that, pretty much it becomes exponentially hard for the bowlers to get you out. Like now they don't have to think, they don't have to be creative. Like
Yeah, that's
Pat
true.
Cummins comes out with detailed plans for everyone. He comes out with custom fields for every single
Oh,
batsman,
Rishi, bro,
bowlers.
come on. You're
But
just,
then Virat,
the way
it
this
is
is
right
being
there.
exaggerated, I'm
So
sorry.
you're
Like,
telling me the bowlers, there is no blueprint that you bowl on the fifth stump, good length ball. How is Josh Hazelwood doing that? How is
bro,
Scott Boland doing that? Like
I'm
everyone,
sorry with everyone. The way they got out today was the same thing. Gill got out on the sixth
exactly, it is
stump.
not just
Virat got
today.
out on the
That's
sixth
the
stump.
point.
Rohit.
That's
It's not
exactly the
just
point.
today. Adi,
No, no,
Virat's
no. My
first
point
year
is
of
that
batting
everyone.
average in
My point is
2024
that
is
everyone is in the
9.
same zone, and I go back to the point of it's the captaincy and the coaching issue. I've been telling this for a long time. I don't think it's the. It comes down to the captain and coach being okay with the players to play aggressive form of cricket. Why do you? Back to the fact. Why do you think? One second. Why do you think Kela is the only guy who's able to grind out cricket right now? You know the education he's played. He's a guy who traditionally started Test cricket. He's played a lot of Ranji
So
cricket.
has Virat.
He's Rahul, but my point is the way the foundations of KL Rahul was to play Test cricket. That's how he was. That was literally how he was grown as a cricketer. You know what I mean? It is similar to Pujara, but you look at Virat. It was always like he started off white ball, he adapted himself to his red ball. I'm coming down to the fact that this is a coaching issue. You have a guy like Gautam Gambhir. He knows what's the problem. Virat knows what's the problem. The captain knows what's the problem. If these guys are not ready to sort out, I still go back to the management and the captain because if, for example, bro, if Virat was playing good and he had a player like KL who was struggling or player like Gill struggling, I would expect a captain to go and try to understand what's happening. And we know that it's not a skill issue. It is only a part of mentality. If we all can see that and say, okay, he's struggling on the off stump, especially in the first 20, 30 balls. You go back to 3 innings ago against Australia where he scored a century. No one was talking about his cover drive because he scored a lot of beautiful cover drives that day. They were bowling the same thing that day. Only thing was it was a different, maybe it was a different game state. Balls were a bit tired, but he was able to play the game out very well. 2 games, then literally the next game on the off stump, next game off the off stump. It comes down to the mentality. Like if they're ready to leave 30, 40 balls, if they're okay and having the patience to leave it, I don't even think Gill will be out. I don't think we will have a conversation with Virat because Gill will be able to
I
play.
agree
So
with
you're
you.
telling me
I
one second. So you're
agree.
telling me under Virat's captaincy, when Rohit Sharma was still getting LBW, was still getting bowled, it was Virat's problem that because the captain is
Oh,
not coming and
Rishi,
telling, listen, come play
Rishi,
calmly. One second. When Sachin
Rishi.
was getting out,
Rohit Sharma's average under Virat Kohli was 50 in
hear me
Test,
out.
by the way.
Hear
Just
me out. Hear
two.
me out. So when Sachin was getting out to cover drives in Australia, so did Anil Kumble have to go and be like, listen, like this is a problem. You better address it. Like no, like the greatest of
Bro,
the batsmen
Rishi, do you
are
realize it's
their
a team
people.
sport?
You have to
Do you
address it.
realize
No, no,
it's a
no,
team
bro.
sport? Like,
You
Adi,
don't
Adi,
need a nanny or someone else to come and tell you, listen,
I
can
bro,
you
agree.
please fix
Adi,
this?
okay, Rishi,
Adi,
are you saying cricketers, footballers don't need a manager? They should just go
it's
play on
not
They
about
themselves.
that,
need it.
Adi. It's
But
not
if
about
Exactly,
that.
bro.
the
Like,
It's
fact the
not about
fact
that.
that
It's not about that. Dude, he's 36 years old. Probably the best Indian player ever. He doesn't need somebody to come and show him and tell him, bro, like you are not doing the right thing. It can
Rahul,
but he has played
I
enough cricket.
agree,
He's
bro.
played
Rahul, I
enough
tell you what,
cricket.
I agree with that. I think it's first of all, it's a personal thing. But my point is, if I'm struggling with someone, for example, if a coach or someone comes and helps me out, don't you think that helps? Like,
I
you look
agree.
at
I
that
agree.
would
I
and
agree.
definitely help.
I
and
But
agree.
my point is, I
you
don't
can't
think that's
beat the
happening
others
right
with
now
that.
with the Indian team. I just don't think it's happening right now with the
Okay,
Indian team.
maybe, but my point is, Adi, like the reason I'm saying that he will not be with the other greats is you look at Sachin Tendulkar before that double hundred came in Sydney, same problem, literally the same scenario. Like India's best player, number four, getting out outside off, edging, and getting out. But then he comes to Sydney and says, I'm not going to play outside off. It's a thing that he has brought in by himself in his head, saying, I'm not going to play the ball outside the off stump. Didn't have a single cover drive. You look at his wagon wheel from that innings, everything is flicks. He's made the bowlers bowl to the stumps. He's flicked them off his pads. He's got runs heavily on the leg side. That's what I want from Virat. That's it. I just want once for him to say, like, a mental thing to be like, no, I'm not. And it's not.
Bro, I
And
agree with this, but two
yeah,
games ago we saw him score a century, and that's what I come back to, bro.
In
Like,
an
dude.
it is
80,
very,
oh, okay. No, no. If that 100 really cuts and negates this effect, then okay, fair enough. But if
bro.
that
Rishi, my point is, if these two games, three games, three innings
came in
didn't
once again,
happen,
he came in the 85th over. Okay, so he
okay,
comes in
and
the
so what?
85th over
Bro,
in a
Rishi, that 100 runs was
over
very
pitch.
important. This century was equally important. I can't
It's
sit and
important, Adi, but
I'm not saying it is not important,
it's
but
bro, if any other
when
player scores a
when
century,
you
you
game,
give it better meaning. If Virat scores a century, it's
no,
like
no, no,
it's
no.
the
It's not
85th
no,
about
over.
that. It's not
no, it
about
is
It
that.
is
not.
very easy for everyone to come score.
No, no,
That's
No,
no,
it
the
is
bro,
not. When you
conversation I
it's
set,
was
not
cricket.
see, it's just that when you set a player to a high standard, you expect more from him. Like if
exactly,
you
Oh,
want to call him
exactly,
the
I
great, you
exactly.
agree.
treat
I
him
agree
like
to
the
that,
other greats. You compare him to the other greats. You criticize him
bro.
like the other greats. You can't just be like, you know what? He scored one century, so he's protected from all criticism. He scored one century. You don't need
Rishi,
to bother about
but
for
no
the
one
remaining
is
games.
talking about criticism. My point is the mentality I put come down to the captaincy because in the team, for example, if they're struggling as a batting unit, it's not just a Virat problem. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the entire team problem. Maybe it's Virat. I don't. For me, I personally look at it this way. I don't know what's happening in the dressing room. I look at it in the sense of Virat doesn't have the captaincy. You look at the just let me just tell you. You look at the game, the first game where did we play Sydney, right? If I'm not no, sorry,
Perth,
I
Perth,
sorry.
Perth,
Perth,
Perth.
and Perth.
Perth, yeah, sorry, Perth. There was no Rohit Sharma, and the way Virat Kohli, I really believe he was like a proper captain that game. Like you guys can tell whatever you want, but the way he was on the field, the way he kept talking with Bumrah, initiating a lot of field sets, he was talking a lot with the bowlers. He looked like a real leader. And when he played that innings, I really think he had the responsibility in his head, saying, "Okay, today I need to score for my team." And I could see that on the pitch. I could see his entire body language being to the guy of, okay, I'm the leader of this team. I want to lead the team forward. Next game, I see Rohit Sharma coming back. I don't want to really put anything, but I could see there was a language change. That was just me personally seeing. And I can see that fact that when Rohit Sharma comes in, he realizes that he's not the captain of the team. I feel like he plays without any responsibility. He plays without any real freedom. It's just my
So
opinion.
who's that
And
on?
when you're not,
It should be
bro,
on
wait, let
him.
me finish. Let me finish.
Ah,
When you're not the captain and you're playing under another captain, you tend to play along with their wavelength, their rhythm of playing. When Rohit Sharma comes in, I think India tries to play differently. It was same with Jaiswal. The way he played the first two innings in the first game. The second innings, he was very disciplined. You can see he scored 140, but it was not a quick fire 140. It was very disciplined. Him and KL kept communicating entire game, the entire partnership they had, and they were going very slowly. I think when Rohit Sharma came in, you see how quickly the second test match, even the first innings, second innings, when he scored 20 odd runs, he had a lot of edges. You could see he was searching for the ball more. And I feel like the entire team shifts to the dynamic, okay, we have to score more runs. We have to play in a faster rhythm. I just think that is how it is because that's the pattern I've seen over the past three innings. Whenever Rohit Sharma as the captain, I think the philosophy of cricket is let's put them under pressure and score runs as much as possible. I just think that's the philosophy. They've said it also. It's not just me. Rohit Sharma's come out in press conferences since Bangladesh said that he just wants to play cricket like his T20s, finish the game in one day, etc., score as many runs as possible. And I feel like if you're a captain and if you're even with Gambhir, I think he's also instilled this mentality where you guys should score more runs as quick as possible. And if you have that mentality, I think it is a bit like when you have players under that mentality, you have to they play under that rhythm. That's what I'm trying to say. If the captain came and said, "Guys, this is how we're going to play cricket. Top four play this kind of cricket." I think the fifth and sixth can play a different kind of cricket. I don't think that's happening right now. I think even everyone apart from, and that's why I come down to KL Rahul. I think he just fundamentally knows how to play Test cricket better because he's learned Test cricket through his younger ages. That he literally grinded out Ranji Trophy. But apart from them, the rest they play in the rhythm. Okay, let's just score runs. Let's just score runs. That's why they go try to find the cover drive. Even with Gill, it's not a skill issue. It's just a timing issue. He's just going and searching for runs. It's been I've seen it a lot under the past. I mean, in the past 6 7 games. It's just for the fact that it is a captain issue. It's a team management issue, coaching issue, where they're happy to score runs as soon as possible. You look at them today, like same Jadeja. You could go 3 4 games ago and say, what is he playing? Why is he trying to play certain shots? Today he showed certain discipline. If you look at the number 10 and 11, they show discipline. I think it's just the fact that today they realized, okay, we have to get a follow on. There is some pass score. We have to go no matter what. And they played well. Even Bumrah played well. Even Akashdeep played well. Like that's my whole point. I think it's just a matter of do you guys know how to play? Is there a real fundamental issue where what is the team's identity as a test team? That's my point. Like there is no test identity. Like they don't. There are 2 3 players who play very slow. The rest just play as aggressive as possible, and that's what's going to happen. I feel like it's up to the captain to be like, boys, this is what we're going to do. I'm not saying that it's the captain's fault if everyone's getting tuck out. My point is the captain needs to be the first person to lead and show how we are going to play cricket today. In the World Cup, we all praise Rohit Sharma. It's like in the World Cup last year in November, we were all praising him because he's the one who's going to start that aggressive start, and everyone's around him are like confident to play cricket. Every century, I remember even Virat's century was credited to Rohit Sharma because everyone was like, Rohit Sharma is the reason. I literally have read this. Like we were all talking about it, how he gives freedom to the team, how to play cricket, etc. But when it comes to test match, I've not seen that. He's not shown any identity. He's not said, okay, this is as a team, as a batting unit, we're going to play like this. I've never seen that, and I still blame it on the captain first. Then I blame the players, obviously, for their own reasons. But I still blame it on the captain.
I think even if there is a suggestion from the management or the captain saying, let's be free, let's play shots, there is, I still think the difference is there is still one guy in KL or even Jadeja, like Adi said, like you go 4 games back, he probably plays at that ball outside off stump, but consistently leaving it, respecting the good deliveries, ensuring and understanding what is required of him. I think that comes down to individual players, like I feel like these guys have played enough cricket to understand what is required of the situation. Virat Kohli today, I think, can go and tell Gambhir like what needs to be done, bro. Like he's played way more Test
But
cricket
but,
than Gautam
but
Gambhir
we
ever has in his life.
but we
So
don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and I
I
don't.
agree.
I don't.
I agree.
That's the thing that it comes from the horse's mouth. Like Rohit Sharma himself said, he wants to finish Test games
I
in two
agree,
three
Adi.
days.
But my only thing is if a KL Rahul can put his foot down and say, "This is how I am going to play,"
Bro,
I
Rahul,
think
but we
Virat
know
Kohli
KL
can.
Rahul is just. But see, the thing is with KL
So
Rahul, we've
KL gets
always
a
known
pass
this.
that he's going to play
I
slow. The
think
rest have to hardline play quickly, right?
Bro, I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
but Rishi, 3 games ago you were saying KL Rahul doesn't deserve to be in the squad. He doesn't need to be in Australia. So please
yeah,
don't
three
come
games
and
ago, he was having a series of bad performances. But when
he
he
didn't.
plays
He
well,
didn't.
I'm the
He
first one
didn't.
to
I'm
say that,
sorry, my
okay,
friend.
like,
He didn't.
you know what?
He didn't.
He has been playing brilliantly now. In Australia, he has probably been, not probably, he's hands
he
down
has
been
been
our
India's
most
best batsman.
consistent batsman.
Yeah.
But Rahul, Rishi, he used to play the same way before. Like he used to play slowly. What was the difference between 3 games ago to today, where you're like, okay, this is how we have to play? Three
And the
day-
fact
games
that,
ago, 3 games ago, you were saying he doesn't deserve to play for India. And my point is, he's always been this player. That's what I'm coming down to him. Fundamentally, he's been this
No,
kind of player.
that is fine, Adi. Like that's okay.
Bro,
But my
bro,
point
but
is,
Rahul, what I'm trying to say is, bro, see,
if
we
the
know
rest of
that,
the management is
but
saying
but 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 can you see
play
that
this way, and he's playing his way, which is the right way,
exactly? But
Virat can do that too.
I agree. But Rahul, do you realize that when a team, that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, if we all know, you, me, everyone, the entire India knows that India as a batting unit, the entire top order is struggling. Like I would also include punt to an extent. Like everyone is struggling overall. And this is not today, this is not 3 games ago. It's been there for a long time. Even against Bangladesh, I told like I still don't trust them enough because they did struggle in the first test match. New Zealand, we all know what happened. Coming to Australia, the second test match, we know all what happened. Now, as a captain, we know that it's not just a one player issue, it's 4 player, 5 player issue. Apart from KL, the entire top order has been poor. Like we know that even Jaiswal has been poor apart from that one century, in the same century which Virat scored. So I don't think everyone are equal culprits. So who do you
I
for me
agree.
but for me it's like if it's one player, we can all point at him. But if it's if it's the entire batting unit, I think it goes down to the coaching and the captain to
I
say, okay, this
agree.
is how we are.
I
I
agree,
don't
Adi.
see that. I don't see that
No,
change itself.
my
That's what I'm trying to
only
say.
thing is the reason I'm saying Virat Kohli again and again is because we hold him at a higher standard than the rest. We know the kind of quality he has. We
Rahul,
know
but he's
that
not the captain. I'm sorry. You can't say Virat Kohli needs to do everything when he's not the
Adi,
captain.
but
He's not the
Sachin
coach of the
Tendulkar
team.
wasn't the
Niteshwar
captain
Pujara
when he
was
scored
not the
that double
captain of
hundred.
Indian cricket team.
Like,
VVS Lakshman was not the captain of the Indian
Oh,
cricket team. Sachin was the
sorry,
king of
but
the
bro,
Indian
Rishi, but at that
captain of
point of
the
time,
cricket team.
bro, but at that point of time, they were all playing at a certain level of cricket. Like you're talking about Cheteshwar Pujara. I was playing under Virat Kohli, and under Virat Kohli was one of the best Test cricket players at that time. So again, it comes down to
Okay.
we're talking about this phase, and this phase, I still put the first blame. If you want to point at fingers, I would put it on the management. I would point it at the captain because you have to instill some kind of identity, bro. You go to football. It's not the same parallel. You go to football. You always tell the coaches like coach has to put an identity in teams. Same thing in the Indian cricket team. Whenever like Dhoni, Saurav Ganguly, won trophies, you everyone gave him the credit. I think it's the same thing. If, for example, the first game, we all give credit to Bumrah. Why? Because he was the captain. I feel like there was some philosophy in that game. And when it happens, we all credit the captain. I feel like when everything's going south, you have to point at the captain. But if the entire team is losing, who do you look at? Like you can't say Virat Kohli is the first person.
no, I
I'm sorry,
agree.
he's not the
I
captain.
think
He's
Rohit
not the
Sharma should
captain of
not
the
be
No,
team.
vice
like
captain.
nobody
I
is
think we're
shielding
beyond
Rohit
that.
Sharma. Like if it were for down to the three of us, Rohit Sharma would be on a flight back to India, and
I
probably
swear, yeah,
Bumrah or anyone
100%.
else would be
Bro,
the captain. The thing
I
is,
and that's why I
so,
put
like,
the point.
if
Like,
you are gonna tell
bro,
me
you
that
realize 2 games ago when Rohit Sharma was not there, we were all telling this is the Virat Kohli we want. And I'm coming back to the point of, bro, we've
that
not
that
seen
that,
this team
that game
enough.
also in the first innings, what happened? The second, that's exactly what I'm saying. That the pattern is that whenever
Oh,
he
the
has to
first
go
innings,
play
every
slow
team,
ball,
bro, everyone, I feel like that first innings, both the teams struggled to play cricket because it was a very tough just pitch to play on. I'm sorry to
the
say.
second innings
Sometimes it
also,
happens.
so that means second innings Australia should have played well. What
Hmm.
happened in the second innings for Australia?
I do think they didn't play well, but Travis Head was able to score better runs in the second innings. I think it was more of the fact of the other players are just lacking confidence and were not at good form. I'm sorry to say, but McSweeney,
Oh, so then,
Kawaja, they haven't had one good innings
then
since the entire time.
we have to go at Pat Cummins, right? If the whole batting unit collapsed, we have to say Pat Cummins didn't instill a mentality because of which these guys didn't grind out because the pitch was easy. The pitch was easing out a
Oh,
lot.
bro, I'm sorry to say, but I can't lie. But I feel like with Australia, they have a certain mentality to play Test cricket. I just don't think they're able to perform to that extent. I'm not going to sit and say with Australian cricket team, the way Bumrah bowled there, I'm not going to sit and say, okay, now it's Pat Cummins' fault that they're not able to play Bumrah's swing. Like, I'm sorry to say, it doesn't make sense for me. My point is, I know they were trying to play a certain.
When it comes to Virat Kohli, you can say that Rohit Sharma not
Oh,
excelling
bro, bro,
is
bro.
why Virat Kohli is getting out.
Bro, but you realize they had a certain mentality. I'm sorry to say, McSweeney Kabaja knew how to lead the offside balls. They were ready to lead the short balls, and you are not able to accept that fact. I'm really sorry.
No, but
But if
there's
you
a
go look,
difference. There's a difference in Virat Kohli. This is not a since Rohit Sharma has come in thing. It's been a thing for the last
It
four
was a
years.
thing when
bro,
Ajinkya
bro,
It's
bro,
Rahane
bro,
always been a
bro,
thing.
but are you guys telling me Australian openers, at least the top order, don't have a certain plan to play? I'm
I'm
sorry
not
to say,
talking. I don't care about the Australian openers. I'm talking about
no,
Virat
no, no.
Kohli.
But we were
This
just
is
trying to
this is a
discuss.
Virat Kohli problem that hasn't come in after Rohit Sharma's come in as captain. It has been there for a while. It's
I
been
think
there
Rahul,
Sanjay
with this
Manjrekar
before
pointed
trustworthy
it
Rahul,
out
captain.
like
before
in
before
2015 or
Rohit Sharma was a
2016
captain,
when Virat was in the peak of his game. Sanjay Manjrekar had pointed out that okay, this fifth stump, sixth stump ball is coming to his problem. But at that point, everyone was like, you know what, this guy is a proper hater, and he just put out that this issue is there. Like 10 years down the lane, that issue is still there. Except back then, like it was not as frequent and the runs were flowing. Like the only difference post COVID is
dude,
like the runs are
are you saying
absolutely dried
are
up
you
and
saying
that
every
issue, that
batsman
glaring
is
issue is still there.
bro? But my point
It's
is,
not about
you guys make it
perfection,
like
Dad.
every batsman's perfect
It's
and like
not. It's not
everyone's
about
not
being
pro. It
perfect.
just
Exactly.
sounds
No
like
one
that,
is
Rahul.
asking you
Nobody
to be
wants you.
perfect. There's a
No,
difference.
Dude, come on. If you're talking about, for example, his weakness is of cover drive, but his strength is also cover drive, what do you expect him to look? I don't
If your
get that thing.
once again, if your weakness is a cover drive, your strength is no more a cover drive. And like I'm sorry, like
You, bro.
you can't
Oh
say your
my
weakness
god.
is cover drive, but your strength is cover drive. It doesn't work that
No,
way.
I am not putting it out. You guys are
If your
saying
strength is
him
a
on the
cover
off
drive,
spin.
That's not
like
what I'm saying.
it's a paradox. Like if your strength is a cover drive, your weakness cannot be a cover drive because that is something
Oh,
you're good at.
exactly, Rishi. But you're trying to say that his best stance is on the offside, but it's also his weakness on the offside. Like, I'm sorry, for him, it's the point of okay, this is my best cover drive, is my best shot. I'm going to play on this like stroke every time I can. Problem is
But
right now it's not working out
five,
for
six
him.
years, if
That's why
he's
he's getting
getting out
out.
on it, it is no longer his best shot.
Guys,
Like there
guys,
is no nothing
just
wrong
taking
in
just taking
accepting it.
this
Bro,
just taking this comment. Jasmine saying our top order barring Kale didn't have the right application. This pitch, once the ball gets old, is a lock for at least 200. I agree. I think it's a template. This is again what I it's a great point because we knew this already that once you come to the Gabba after the ball is 30 40 years old or 40 years I'm saying overs old, it does get softer and it is much easier to score runs. What did Australia do? Their top three consumed 50 balls each, allowing Travis Head to come and score runs, right? They played out 30 overs by the time Head came in. Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly what is lacking. Like, we didn't go in, our top order didn't consume enough deliveries to allow players
so, so,
like
so you
Rishabh
would
Pant to
you
come in
would
and
tell
score.
that Australia play with certain game plan, right? Which is the top order try
I
to play as
agree,
much as
but
possible.
my point is, I don't care about what Australia are doing. I'm just
Oh,
saying,
I agree. I'm not talking about
yeah,
that, but again, if you're trying to say that we have to blame Cummins for Australia's collapse, I'm sorry, but I'm saying they
No,
come
we
down with a
shouldn't.
batting
That is
plan.
no,
exactly
no,
the point I'm
agreed,
trying to
agreed,
say.
agreed.
Bro, but my point is Australia come out with a batting plan. It didn't work in the first test match, but it worked in the second test match because they stuck to it. My point is India don't have a batting plan at all.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
day
exactly.
do this, one day do the other thing. That's
No,
my whole point.
this is exactly what I'm saying. Like Smith thanked Kawaja and McSweeney for playing. Lavisham were playing 50 balls each. Now the difference is just that, right? Like our top order didn't consume enough deliveries because Jaiswal flashed, so did Gill, and that's what I'm saying. Like to an extent, I place Virat at a higher pedestal than Jaiswal and Gill. I'm expecting him to understand the situation and understand and know better to leave those deliveries. To be the one to say, okay, we need to play time today, let's do it. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
if
Like
like if
that's all I'm
Virat
saying.
were to kill the old, like kill the new ball, kill the shine, like out try and outbat Australia, no one, like including like no one in the right mind, including Gautam Gambhir or Rohit Sharma, is gonna be like, dude, why are you leaving the balls outside off? Why are you playing? Why are you taking around 100 balls to get to 30 or 40 runs? No one in the
Rishi,
right
but
mind is
nobody is doing that, bro. Bro, but my point is, we all say Virat Kohli is the best, so he needs to be the best. Okay, fine. But my point is,
kind of
every
how the
time,
best works.
bro, I'm sorry to say, but when you're in a team, I feel like everyone's equally accountable. I feel like the captain is the highest accountable in a team. Like, I'm sorry to say, but
True,
again,
fair
you're
enough.
looking back,
Like,
bro. Wait,
absolutely.
but like looking back to it, it comes down to Gautam Gambhir. It comes down to maybe the batting coach. It comes down to especially Rohit Sharma to build a mentality and a batting discipline into this team. I'm sorry to say, we can blame Virat Kohli. I'm not saying Virat's a victim of this, but I'm saying when there's a responsibility towards Rohit Sharma, I think no, even let's take a Rohit Sharma. Let's put even Gautam Gambhir. If you're the head coach of this team, you have a huge say to
Agreed.
ensure
Yeah.
certain things. I feel like it goes down to the coaching staff because you guys just the comment right now. There were three batsmen: McSweeney, Kavaja, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who comes now. Labuschagne. They didn't score runs at all. We know that, but they just played balls, which helped players like Smith and Head score runs. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
If for me genuinely, if there was a game plan with India, saying Gumby said, "Bro, Gill, Jaiswal, KL, we don't care about the runs you score in the first 40 overs. We really don't care because we know we have batting power. We have firepower till 8 down. We know we can score runs. We just need you to stand there and play. Like and it comes down to the fact that again, I'm trying to say if Rohit Sharma, if even like Gautam Gambhir said, you guys just ensure you play this brand of cricket of just grind it out. First 3 days, first 10, 30, 20, 30 overs, just grind it out. We don't need runs. You can score, 40 or 30 overs. It's fine. We will get there to the score. My point is that that thing is not even there from day one. I mean, ball one with Jaiswal,
I
and
just.
I feel like if there was there, we might have a different conversation. If that sense was there and Virat Kohli was still struggling, I would fully blame it on Virat. But my point is, if the captain, the coach itself has not changed anything from 6, 7 games where India struggled, I would, for me personally, would point out the coaching staff first, then I would get into every single player. And that's why even with Gill, I don't want to get to that conversation because I feel like he's a young player. Jaiswal's a young player. If the senior player, if the captain, if the coach gave them a certain batting philosophy, I think it would have been better. At least I feel like players like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Pant would have scored more runs also.
Adi, again, like just to bring a parallel, I agree. Of course, you have to blame the captain, you have to blame the coaching staff and the management. But if that was the case, if they were saying, dude, just go and score runs quickly, I think one of the best innings that we've seen in this tour has been KL Rahul's first test in Perth with the ball swinging, green top, 26 of 74. Amazing batting performance. I think one of the best test innings I've seen for a long time. Like in from an Indian player overseas. I it
Rahul, the
one sec,
same
one sec.
test match, you could see Jaiswal just trying to swing the ball, bat left, right,
Adi, I
center.
agree, but that's exactly what I'm saying. It is down to the player
But
also. It is
can't
always
we
down to the player.
Rahul, but again,
Hmm.
can we accept the fact that with Jaiswal, it's a different thing versus KL because, bro, KL is a guy who's grinded, bro. Like, I'm sorry to say, KL is the player who started off Ranji Trophy. He himself has said he's only played Ranji Trophy and Test cricket his entire life
Yeah,
since
yeah, yeah.
since his grassroots levels. He started to understand what T20 is only through IPL format. He never played even in the local level, national level. He never played anything else apart from Ranji Trophy, and that's what I'm trying to say. With KL, he knows how to play.
I
Apart from
agree.
that,
That's what
nobody
I'm
else
saying.
knows.
Kohli is not a white ball player. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying Kohli is not a white ball player. He's a
Bro, but
good red ball player
let's say
who
he's
understands what to do. He's not stupid. Like that's my entire point.
bro, but
Like
my
this,
point is
and
like
also like
again,
Rohit Sharma came in 2022, late 2022. Like,
no,
but
Rishi, he didn't. He
in our
came in early
previous
2022.
okay, early 2022, agreed. So, like this issue that has been like persisting probably since pre-COVID when he was the
Yeah.
Oh,
captain. So then it was
No,
I'm
like
before
sorry.
COVID, I
What
get it. He
no,
was
issue?
there. He
Batting
was
order
there.
issue.
It was no.
Are you saying we
It
had a
was
no,
batting order?
fifth stump
the
issue.
getting out of the fifth stump ball issue that
It
has
was in
Bro,
been
20,
there
it was
since
there
a
again, you
till
longest
guys,
2018,
time.
19 as
bro,
well.
Like
but
under his
you
own
guys
captaincy. So
realize,
now what? Like, like should he tell
bro, but you're
himself that listen,
nitpicking
calm
about what,
down?
bro. But you're talking. I'll say like we're all ready to pounce on Virat Kohli because of his, let's call it his weakness because you want to call that. But my point is, you're telling Virat Kohli needs is getting out on the same ball. I'm telling you, take that out. We're all pointing it. This entire batting collapse. We're putting the main guy on pedestal is Virat Kohli, which I don't think is right. You just look at this comment. A guy like Steve Smith, his life became easier when three players didn't score in fact vast amount of runs. It was pretty. They scored around 60 runs. but they face a lot of balls. It helped players like Travis Head and Steve Smith to score runs. We know Travis Head is not at all a red ball cricketer. Like we know his strength is in white ball. But my point is, when you have a certain philosophy in the team, when there's McSweeney, when there's Khawaja, who's Khawaja struggled this entire test format, but no one, but it makes other players' life easy because of the certain brand of cricket they play. My point is, we know Virat has an issue. Leave that. My point is, what comes before Virat? There are three players who are playing before Virat. Why is that there's only one player with KL Rahul who plays his own form of cricket, but then you have other players just playing aggressive form of cricket or
I
playing
agree.
loose form of cricket? It goes back to the captain, bro. I'm
No,
sorry to
I
say.
agree. I don't think there's a question about whether or not the way we're playing Test cricket is right. It's like again, he's just been saying that Adelaide and Brisbane first innings for India top four dismissals are down to themselves. I agree. Like it is an issue that we have in general, not only with Virat but the others. Only thing I'm saying is I just place Virat at a higher pedestal than a Gill and a Jaiswal. That's it. That's the reason I expect more from him. That's it's just a fan thing. It's not a I'm
Bro,
coming out
It's
to
Rahul,
not.
but
bash
like,
Virat
bro,
thing.
Rahul,
We're
but do
not.
you realize, okay,
Not
we have
asking him.
certain.
We're not categorizing him the same category as Rohit Sharma, saying, "Listen, like no matter how much you try, there is no hope." Like for Rohit Sharma, like that's the thing. Like
Yeah, I feel
okay,
like Rohit Sharma
like
needs to.
Rohit Sharma,
Rohit
you try,
Sharma is
you
out.
don't try. There is like
Done.
he's not gonna get much different. Like
Yeah,
Virat, if he tries, there is 100 times the player that is there.
Bro, but I'm
exactly.
sorry to say,
Exactly.
I'm saying Jaiswal, over the past two innings, three innings, he's gotten out to the same ball twice.
Yeah, bro, Adi.
Gill,
But
We are
again,
every innings in
yeah,
this
yeah.
one. So like
bro, but do you guys realize we are talking about Virat's weakness and Virat needing to step up at a certain time? I agree. I've always been the first guy to call him out for that. But I'm saying this batting order issue is deeper than just Virat
No, no,
playing his
hundred
shots
percent,
it's
bro.
covered right.
Hundred
100%.
percent, hundred
Hundred
percent is
percent it
deeper.
is.
There is
But
no
again,
doubt about it.
bro, but you guys need to really accept the fact that it comes down to the coaching stuff. I feel like, see, my point is, if Virat could just look at the century which Virat scored, you guys were the first one to say that it was because the pitch was easier and the game was easier to play. Why is that? Because players like Gill, like KL Rahul, played along that game the entire time. And I'm saying if the top three take more responsibility, I feel like it helps the entire
No,
team,
no,
not just
agree.
Virat
Like
Kohli.
that
So
is
just to
that is
just to
One
absolutely
put
right.
second,
things
one
into
second, one
context,
second,
just to
one
put things
second,
into
bro. But
context,
like,
in that first test, when in the first test, when like Virat came in and scored 100 because Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul had set a platform, you said Travis Head played a good innings that game. Travis Head came in and
bro, see,
started facing. He
Travis
started
said
facing.
always comes when 40 overs are balled. What's your point?
Yeah, except the batsman above him had faced 30 balls.
Each.
30. There is no 30 balls in total. There is wait, I'll bring out the scorecard. So
Bro,
Nathan
again, you're taking one
McSweeney,
outlier and saying this is how
hear me out,
every
hear
test
me
cricket
out.
is game.
Nathan McSweeney faced 4 balls. Usman Khwaja faced 13 balls. Pat Cummins was a night watchman, faced 8 balls. Manas Labuschagne faced 5 balls. And then the next,
Okay.
Steve Smith and Travis Head put up around Steve Smith played 17 of 60 and Travis had played 89 of 101. So you're telling
Okay.
me somebody had to come in and kill the balls? No, not necessarily. You have like you don't need others to come and do the job for you. Sometimes
Rishi, when Virat came in the second innings, I think there was a second new ball. But anyways, my point was not about new ball. My point is just playing out the conditions. You're still playing out the ballers. My whole point is we have to look at it as an entire batting unit problem. I'm telling you, we're only looking at it as a Virat Kohli problem. And you guys have to
No,
accept the fact that
no,
Jaiswal
bro.
has an issue.
You
Bro, but Jaiswal has an issue. Gill has the same issue. Bro, my
everyone.
fact
Yeah,
is,
of course they are all at fault. But I'm just
but wait, my point is we have to find a solution to it. Rahul, my point is we have to find a solution to it. We can't just
yeah.
say Virat needs to stop playing on the off stump. It is not a
No,
solution
but
because
that
the
is
fact
a
that there are
solution. That is
three.
definitely a solution. How is
Rahul,
that not
but
a
my
solution?
point, it is a part. It's just, bro. I feel like it's a part of a solution. You can't just stop playing on the off stump.
Yeah,
Your
it is a
problem
part of
will
the
be fine.
solution. Yeah, so it is a
I
part of
mean,
I,
the
KL
bro,
Rahul did
I
that throughout this game. Like KL Rahul, everything outside off stump, he was
no.
meticulously leaving, except for
Rishi,
that
I
first
saw him
ball
score
today.
runs out of the. He got off the mark on a cover drive. What are you saying? He left every
no,
ball
no, no.
Yeah,
on.
not the good
Please.
length six-stump balls. The one that he did, the loose shot that he did attempt, he almost got out. It was either overpitched or it was either too short. None of the good length balls that was probably in just a couple of meters before the crease, he didn't play it.
Fair enough, but my point again, we know that I can't sit and say he's never scored a cover drive off the good length ball. I think it's very like disingenuous to say that, bro. Every cover drive he scored was a short ball or a over pitch
No,
ball.
no,
It
no,
just
no.
doesn't
Like
make sense.
that is.
No,
But
it's
Mm,
bro, my point is we never spoke about Jaiswal and Gill this entire time. I feel like if Gill and Jaiswal, implemented the same game of at least with Jaiswal, I saw him do it in the first test. That's the sad part. In the first the second innings, he grinded it out and he got a well-deserved 140. Second test match, he's back to playing flimsy shots, bro. Like the first game, he got duck out. The second innings, he was struggling. He was kept trying to play the cover drive. He kept trying to he had a lot of balls off the edge. He could have been caught if it was not just going above the slip's
mm,
head. And I'm coming back to the fact that it's everyone. Bro, where do you like? How do you fix a batting issue? It's not just Virat Kohli leaving the
yep.
offside ball. I'm sorry to say, it comes down to something bigger than just one player playing a cover drive. It just comes down to even Gill. He's struggling on the cover drive. Why is it that now we know that okay he's struggling? Now what is the solution for it? Like you guys want to say stop playing or cover drive? I don't agree. Stop playing cover drive is the correct issue. I mean, is the issue and the correct solution for me? It is play the right balls, bro. When there's a when ballers are going to ball, they're going to give the loose ball. Like even yesterday, like Hazelwood was balling well, and then suddenly gave a loose short ball, which like I'm sorry, who was that? Kela just smacked it on the offside. He just cut it. I'm saying that fact that you're going to get loose balls, you have to be patient for it. None of these guys are patient. Like even with Jaiswal, even with Gill, nobody
Yeah,
are
yeah.
really
Agreed.
patient.
Agreed.
And it comes down to like, bro, like even with Virat, if you gave him the confidence, like stay patient, look at the right balls and go. I agree. Being 36, being one of the best. I mean, to be fair, one of the best Indian batsmen and in the world to ever play. You have to know this by yourself and do it by yourself. But if it's not working for you, who else? What else happens, bro? Like I feel like that's where a captain comes into place. I think that's where a coach comes into place, where you can help your players, help your batting unit, create a certain dynamic between each other. And I'm saying that is the bigger issue than just Virat Kohli just playing
No,
off
I
on that.
agree. I really, even I agree. I don't think it's a Virat issue that is the most prominent. It is the whole batting issue, which is obviously going to take top spot in this entire problem. It is Gill, it is Jaiswal, it is Virat, it is Rohit's inability to just simply play and show. I don't know, bro. I don't even know what this thing is. But yeah, it is an entire thing. But only thing is, for me, from a fan's perspective, I just expect a little more from him. Justman saying that it is a mentality issue. I think we've all said that. Like we agree, it is a mentality issue. It is not a technical issue. We know Virat is great with his feet. He's just fetching those from outside off. But yeah, that's where we stand. We'll just wrap it up with that. It looks like India will save this test match, but you never know. If Australia can come out tomorrow, score like 50, 60 runs and then declare and probably have a go at in the last couple of sessions. Of course, this is all contingent to the weather playing a role as well. It's going to be an interesting last day at in Brisbane. If if we don't have too many hiccups, it should be a fairly comfortable draw that India will see out and then go into Boxing Day. At MCG, 1-1 in the series. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be back to discuss more of India, Australia, the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. Thanks, boys, for joining in. Thanks, everybody in the comments, and thanks, everyone, for watching. Please like and share the videos. Subscribe to Sports Kabri. We'll see you soon. It's heating up to be a cracking finish in Australia.